I'm Miss Rebecca Newburn, and the purpose of this video is to introduce you to the 9-point circle, which is one piece of Vedic mathematics, the ancient calculating system from India. And the 9-point circle has it's a circle divided into 9 equal parts, and it has some really fascinating principles. It looks like just kind of a basic circle. However, this piece is going to really help us to do mathematics that we've been doing for a long time that's really tedious in a much simpler fashion. Hallelujah. So one of the pieces about this is, I look at this and go, well, there's 9 numbers on it, and 9 actually has some really fascinating principles, and we've kind of lost touch with that in our culture. We still have some traces of it in our language, such as a cat has 9 lives, a stitch in time saves 9, if you're in a really great mood, you're on cloud 9. One that many of you probably don't even know about is if you're really dressed up, you're dressed to the 9s. So 9 has this essence of really being the ultimate, the best, the top, the maximum. And anything after 9 is just an iteration of something that's come before. It's some combination of numbers we've seen. So if we looked at these 9 digits and then said, well, where would I stick some of the other numbers? Like, where would 0 go? So look at this and just kind of figure out, where would you put 0 on this 9-point circle? When I think about the question, I go, well, I know if I counted backwards, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 comes before 1, so 0 and 9 are on the same branch. And, you might go like, well, so what? Well, what this actually does is there's something about this branch here that 9 and 0, they're obviously not equivalent because we all know that we'd rather have $9 than $0. In fact, I'd rather have $1 million than either one of them. But there's some relationship, there's some similarity, some properties that these two numbers, 0 and 9, have that's going to help us to simplify mathematics in just amazing ways. So in our tradition, in Western tradition of mathematics, it's very left brain. This is the way you do it, and if you don't do it this way, you're wrong. Which isn't a whole lot of fun, and quite honestly, it can be really tedious, some of the calculations we do. Vedic mathematics is much more whole brain, it's much more integrated, fluid. There's multiple ways, there's multiple pathways to get to the answer. And it's more pattern-based. And some of the patterns deal with things that we're going to see on this 9-point circle. So let's just add some other numbers and then kind of start to see what patterns evolve. So if I were to kind of continue 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, ad infinitum. So I'm going to look just at one of the branches. So we're going to start with a branch of 2. And looking for, once again, Vedic mathematics is much more pattern-based. So one thing that we're going to look at is a thing called digit sums. So digits, the digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sum means to add. So we're going to look at the digits of 11, 1 and 1, and we're going to add them. 1 plus 1 is 2. Oh, look at that. Same number there. And we're going to do the digit sum here, 2 plus 0. What do you know? It's 2 also. Well, let's look at number 3 and see, because, obviously math is really one of those pattern-based things, and everything should be logical. Well, let's look at this. What do you know? 1 plus 2 is 3. I think you knew that fact already, but it looks a little bit different in this context, doesn't it? And 2 plus 1 is 3. And if we looked at the 4 branch, 1 plus 3, that's 4. 2 plus 2, 4. I think you can see that there's some patterns that are evolving in this thing. Now, what this allows us to do is, I mean, our brain likes to jump into the future and go, well, what would happen if I had a number like 162? Would I want to go all the way around and try to figure out where this is? Well, no, obviously I can just use what we just learned to realize that 1 plus 6 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, and I can just add that right onto this branch. And this digital sum or digital compression, taking those numbers and compressing them down to 1 digit, is going to have some really amazing properties later on, which are going to make the calculations so amazingly simple, you're going to wonder why your math teacher never taught it to you. And I'll let you know the reason, I'll tell you the reason why your math teacher never taught it to you is because they didn't know it before. So hopefully you'll be able to take this information out and share it with other people. So the last kind of piece of this video is, people go, well, why does it work? How come these numbers all compress down and the digit sum is all 2? How can you say that 0 and 9 have these similar properties? Like what, why, how? So I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to do it in another video. So if you want to find out, I want you to think about it first. Ask yourself, why do 0 and 9 have this similarity? Why do these numbers all compress down to 2 or to 3? So think about it. It's fascinating. I think one of the things that we're going to start in the West experiencing is just a completely different way of looking at mathematics. And hopefully this piece is an invitation to you to think about that.